Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is David and welcome to Epic Light Source, your source for epic lighting. Today we're taking a look at a light made by a company called Dracast. This is the Boltray LED 400 Plus. It's a very compact, lightweight, powerful LED spotlight. One of the neat feature is that it has a COB or chip on board. If you look at the center there, you see the yellow dot, and that's just inside diameter right there. That's where all the LED is housed. And the reason why they did that is so that all the LEDs come from a small source, so it mimics like a light bulb, so it's a single point source. Opposed to something like this. This is YN216 light. It's a much cheaper light, and this light you can see has LED from the center all the way to the edge. This works because it's practical, it's cheap to make, but the problem is you have all these point sources, so when it casts a shadow, it looks really weird because you have all these edges of so many different shadows all piled up together, so it doesn't look good. So here's an example where the shadows don't look realistic at all. You see, my fingertips are gone. And that's just because there's so many lights hitting different parts of my finger, and all of them are offset a little bit, casting their own shadow and some overlapping other shadows. It's not what we're used to seeing as a shadow casted by the sun or a single point source. Whereas with this one, you have one light source in the center and it comes out a very nice solid beam, almost solid beam. You can see the shadow looks very normal, and it's what you expect from a light because it looks just like the shadow you see from the sun. It's got an NPF battery mount right here, and it's also got one on this side too. When you want to use the battery power, you have to have both batteries in. Let's go ahead and put in some batteries and power this guy up. So we'll go ahead and put in this battery right here. And just for fun, we'll try to turn it on, and as you can see, it won't turn on. That's because you need the other battery. Put in the other battery, and it powers right up. So there's two knobs. One is for the intensity and one is for the color temperature, since this is a bicolor model. The intensity obviously changes the brightness of the light. There's a min and a max here, but you can pretty much ignore that because this is a free turning knob, and you want to look at the LCD screen here to know what the brightness is. And on this side, you have the temperature control knob to go from 3200 to 5600 Kelvin. There's labels again, 3200 to 5600 Kelvin, but you can ignore that. You just want to look at the LCD screen here to know what temperature setting you're at. You have an independent on-off switch, so if you ever turn it off and stopped it and you want to go back and resume it, your settings are the way they were before because you have an independent switch for the power. Some cheaper lights, they use the dimmer. When you go down to 0, that's when it turns off. Not this one. You also have some presets here, so you can just jump around the different color temperatures and you don't have to turn the dial, so it helps get you there a little bit faster. This is because it's a bicolor model, that's why you have these switches here. If this was a daylight model only, then you would have brightness presets here, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. With bicolor lights, you're basically trading power for flexibility. What I mean by that is, for a bicolor light unit like this, half the LED bulbs are 5600 Kelvin and the other half are 3200 Kelvin. So if you're using the light at the extremes, for example, if you want to put this light at daylight and you shoot it at 5600 Kelvin, basically only half the bulbs are powered on. Whereas if you had the daylight version of this model, then all the lights are on and you get twice the brightness. So right now the wall is about a good 5 feet away from the light. And we're just going to play around with the setting here so you can see how the intensity works. There's the intensity all the way dimmed down to 10% and all the way up to 100%. And right now we're at tungsten. So as we go up to right in between the range, you'll see it get really bright. That's when all the LEDs are firing at once. And then as we get closer to the daylight, that's how the daylight looks, and it gets a little bit dimmer. So the brightness is about the same when you're at tungsten or when you're at daylight. It's the brightest when you're at in between. Again, that's because all the LEDs are firing when you're at the mixed range. All the daylight LEDs are firing, all the tungsten LEDs are firing. These lights have an IRR mode, an infrared remote mode. It's not an infrared remote controller like a little remote controller that you would push and control it. Rather, what you do is you set one light to be the master, and you can set the other lights on the same channel to be slaves, and they all have to have the IRR compatibility. And when you have this set up with IRR, you can be a one-man light crew. Basically, you can control the temperature of one light, the master, and all the slaves one will match it too. Same with the intensity. You can control the intensity of this main light, and all the other ones will follow. So you have full control standing next to just one light. Pretty cool, isn't it? With the included AC power adapter, I like the fact that the cables are really long, so that way I don't have to worry about extension cables. And the connector is very robust too. So this is the connector here, and I'll go ahead and install it. We'll turn the light off real quick. So you find this little knob here, and you line up the knob. And it doesn't just push in, but you also have this little ring here to tighten it down and really lock it in place. So definitely an industrial connector right there. Turning the light around, you can see this thing rotates 360 degrees here. Also, you can loosen the yoke here, and this thing can rotate up and down as well. So you have quite the range. You have 360 and up and down. In the front, you have the barn doors. So if you close the barn doors, you can shape your light any way you want. So let's take a look at how we can use the barn door to shape our light. We can close them in really tight and just get a slit of light. This is great if you want to light a person from head to toe, but not have light spill on the side. It's better to have the person light up and the background dimly lit so they really pop. And the same can be true if you wanted to do the slit the other way and you just have a small slit this way. So maybe the person is lying down on the couch. You want to light up the person, but not the paintings on top of the walls or on the side or the bottom of the couch. You want to highlight just the person laying on the couch. Also, you can take off the barn door and you can use the included diffuser, which is nice because the spotlight by itself is really harsh. It's a small light source and very powerful. And what this does is it just pretty much diffuses it, so it just spreads out all around and it's much softer. So with a spotlight, it throws a lot of light into a small round area. Because of that nature, the shadows are very, very harsh, which would look bad if you use this to light up a person. So that's why they included this filter. This is the diffusion filter. This will eat up a whole lot of light, but it also makes the light very soft. So if you were to shine this on a person now, you would have a very nice soft shadow. I should note that when you turn on the light, there is a slight whooshing sound from the fan that's always on. It keeps the unit nice and cool. And if the light is a good distance away from your microphones, you won't really pick up the noise. It's pretty quiet. Alright, well, that was a quick review of Dracast Boltray LED 400 Plus. This is a small, compact, but durable LED spotlight with the COB technology chip on board. So that means you got a small point source and you don't get any weird shadows casting from the light. It's got two power options, either running by dual NPF batteries. You're going to need two of these. Batteries are not included, but you also have the option to run it via the AC to DC adapter, and that's included with the light. Also included with the light is the barn door and the diffuser, as well as a carrying case to carry everything. So if you're interested in finding more information or buying a light like this, check out epiclightsource.com. We hope to see you there, and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.